Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to One Last Ticket. I'm here joined with Danny from DBSales Pilot and Michelle from Uprising. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hey guys, you okay?
This week we are going to be talking about events, but first, what's everybody been up to? So, Danny, where have you been today?
Oh god, the list is endless. It's car service, and I love how they keep the date as wide open as possible as to when you can actually go and collect your car. But yeah, car service in the morning, then just quickly followed by a pharmacy with quite a few meetings in between.
And Michelle, anything exciting this week?
I fell out of bed. Still think I've got half a concussion, but still we're all good.
So if you stop making any sense, we attribute it to the knock on the head.
For this, that only applies for this week, though.
And I've had that sort of quieter week where faced with what do I do next, and all those sort of little tasks that build up when you have all those ideas that go ping, 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 and you jot them down, and then you come back to look at your list and work out, what am I doing now? Yes.
How's it going?
I think I'm starting to clear it up, make a bit of progress,
Nice.
put stuff into some I need to do this, I should do this, I want to do this buckets, which makes it a lot more manageable.
Yeah. To be fair, very, very similar to me, because I've actually gone ahead and purchased a book that I've seen on Facebook called The Successful Man. And it's basically a 90-day to-do list of things that I should be concentrating on. Yeah.
I'm a massive planner. Flipping love it.
Yeah, and do you know what? It's been I wouldn't say life-changing, that's way dramatic just for writing down. But just the ability to actually record the notes on paper doesn't half make a difference.
I used to be really good in the habit of planning out my day, writing down a to-do list on my paper tablet with a template, basically a page-to-view diary type, but in a to-do list. But I found doing that habit and sort of looking at it today, I need to pick that habit back up and start planning out my days a lot stronger, like you just showed with that book, and Michelle with, I assume that's a similar type book or diary.
So mine is it's a Clever Fox planner, right? And I literally, well, you know me, I've got like crazy goals that last like 10, 20 odd years, and I cascade them all back to 1 year. So I've got my 1 year goals, I break it into my quarterly goals, into my monthly goals, into my weekly goals. It's got habit trackers, things I need to focus on for this. So yeah, I flipping love that kind of approach. But then there's a couple of things that I measure each week as well that no planner does. So in their note section, I just put the things that are important to me.
Nice. I love that.
It's good. What's yours like, Danny?
It's all about,
Because
obviously,
I can't use it, obviously.
I've just seen it as an advert on Facebook, and I thought I'd give it a shout. And it's all about the positive mindset, healthy body, healthy mind, and
Nice.
everything in between. And that's kind of where I'm at the moment. This is quite a new venture for me, as you both know. And I am petrified of going down. I am petrified of going down a rabbit hole and going into certain pitfalls that I know could be avoidable if I just educated myself and just be made aware. So this book, along with working with a business coach and also doing things like stopping drinking for a temporary amount of time. I say temporary because I want to get back to it at some point, but it's not like I've been treating it like a sport all year. So yeah, for me, I'm just having a bit of a cleanse, not going cold turkey and like eating lettuce all day, just making sharper decisions. And God, I tell you what, within 3 weeks, it's made one hell of a difference
Awesome.
to me.
I like that. Well, you use it. So if you got so both Danny's and mine have like get goals kind of related fish. How do you track yours? Because we've just spoken, you do your planning on a day by day, whereas Danny and I, it seems to do it working a little bit on a longer term kind of basis.
Yeah,
Mine, when I was doing it every day, was very much day by day. This is what I need to achieve today. Sometimes I would have pre-written stuff forward that I need to do certain days. I'd also look up my calendar, what I've got scheduled in already. The longer term stuff, that's being tracked elsewhere, which maybe I don't get as much visibility as I could have of it and remind myself as much because it's only reviewed once a week. So could be something I have a look, see if there's other sort of planner documents I could load up that could give me a bit more of that, either on the daily basis or a second check-in during the week.
Yeah.
See what's available and what works.
See, I quite like mine because each week you end up doing like a weekly review for the wins, what I can do better and all that kind of stuff. But it also has a more detailed monthly review as well. So it is very focused and it reminds you, like I say, you look at your year, quarter, month, week goals and everything has to cascade. So you know you're going in the right direction. This is the problem I had like last week that I was grumbling about because I'd got stuff in different places and I didn't feel as productive. So bringing it all back into that one place, I'm back on track.
it makes a big difference. I mean, I've come from the world of targets. You know, I've been in sales for so long. I've always had some kind of soft target on my back, creeping up and focusing on KPIs, you know, and it ranges from the amount of calls that I need to make through to the amount of time I'm on those calls. Like back in BT, I was targeted to be on the phone for 93% of my shift, and thoroughly learned a lot at that job, but it does have a lot of caveats. And one of them was if I had to go to a toilet break and I was longer than 5 minutes, I had to come back to my manager and explain why. So I've had numbers and figures always related to my performance and my work. So I'm actually finding it really useful to keep me on track to do it from a bigger business perspective.
So how did just out of interest, because obviously time is an important thing, it's something that you can measure and track, and obviously when you're working on tickets you can track your time, but 92% of your time on the phones in a shift. So for me it's like, this is why I like the target closures for that kind of thing, and then making sure your time was accounted. And it could either be time doing tickets, it could be training time, it could be meeting time, it could be something else like one-to-one time. So if you've got to do 92% of your time on the phone, how were you doing any training and development for yourself at that? Or was that a different kind of measure?
They had different measures for that.
Okay.
So the reason why they could get away with such a high percentage, and obviously this is telecoms against MSP land, so it is completely vastly different. But they had the ability to take the order there and then on the call. You might remember like 15, 20 years ago, still happens now. If you agree a broadband contract, for example, a mobile phone contract, they've got a speech that they'll say at the end where they just ask you to be quiet, and then that's your opportunity to kind of justify it or agree or disagree. That's one of the reasons why that percentage figure was so vast. But yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's really hard. I mean, during my time there, I must have seen, and it's no joke, 500 people come in and out the door. And to give you an idea of the pure pressure of sales that's expected of you, each category was broad enough where you had like 7 key figures and 7 key pillars to focus on. So one of them was feature line, which is a type of phone system which allowed hunt groups, which back in the day was quite an advanced feature for a phone system. You had ISDNs, you had broadband, you had mobile phone contracts, you had a target for dongles, and if you missed any of those within a month, you were placed on a PIP, which is a performance plan. After that, another month failing, your foot's one out of the door. A third month, you're out the door. So it's incredibly ruthless. They don't really take any adjustments for training. The only training that you get, which is what I got heavily involved with towards the end of my stint there, is you get call coaching. So what they would do is per individual, you'd spend about 2 hours, 1 hour with a manager, and they would basically handpick 2 calls that you've already done, and you wasn't aware that the call was being monitored, and then they would coach you live and say you shouldn't have said this, you should have said that, and that's pretty much where your progression comes in. Because unfortunately, if I was to tell John, for example, like make a call with the customer, and I'll coach you on it, you're going to put way more effort into that particular moment and that particular call because I've already preempted that I'm going to be doing it. So you're hyper aware. So you're going to say everything with P's and Q's and correctly. And so what BT standard was let's just take 2 random calls. Let's take a long one and a short one and see how you did.
So, let's talk. What are we going to be doing after everybody has their summer holiday? So,
Hang on. Holiday? Who's having holiday?
well, some lucky people are having holidays. Or you might get a odd day away or something happening, or you've got a bit of peace and quiet because you've sent the
Demon child away.
Yes.
Yeah, that ends in a couple of weeks.
They're back from the farm.
No, they're in Ireland this time. Ireland. Then they'll be going to the farm after a week. Should be home for a week, then to the farm.
What should we then go and spend our working holidays doing? Because while we get a lot out of these events in business development, it is also a social opportunity a lot of the time, and you might pack a couple of days around some of these events, especially if you're traveling a little bit further. Have anyone got any plans already for either the autumn or looking next year for events that you are being? I definitely have to be there.
Brigantia. Hey, Danny, did you find out about Brigantia and their dates in September and whether vendors can go along?
I didn't. I actually didn't. No, I need to chase them on my side on that.
That's on you because we need to know. We might be going to Brigantia.
Yep. Yeah,
and it would be remiss of me not to pitch IT Nation. I don't know if I'm going to make it this year, but next year it's definitely on the cards, I think.
Is that going to be the US one or the EMEA one?
I don't know yet. That's a bit far out. Events is nice to have, right? MSP show is next year. How many years ahead are we thinking here, Fish?
Oh, just this time next year.
This time next year.
I've been personally tempted with the PAX 8 one, just purely because I know they pull out all of the stops.
That's going over to Copenhagen in October.
Yeah, but I'm at this research period now for myself. I don't want to waste my time because it is precious, like it is for us all. And there's going to be a lot of events where it's the same people that are going to be doing a lot of the leadership talks. And I know we've spoken about this before, but I don't want to hear the same old pitch. You know, I want to hear some vibrant new information. I don't just want to learn about AI because that's all everybody's talking about. I want to have different inputs, different insights. And I think going back to it, I think that's why the tech tribe works, because it's the people who's actually on the ground level, who's actually facing all of these problems on a regular basis, that can come across this as a different viewpoint without it having a different agenda in the background.
You'd like the scale con stuff. That's sales and marketing, but it's over in the States. Will Mrs. B let you go?
Not yet. Not yet. Need to
Next year,
play
then.
ball a little. Yeah, that's going to be a pipe dream.
Mhm.
I
Well,
mean,
that'd
if
be an interesting question with those speakers, those presenters. Do you think where they are makes a big difference? So if you've seen people regularly at the UK or EMEA version, would the US version be different? Would you get a different feel from their leadership speakers?
yes, absolutely, because you get a completely different viewpoint.
And
But
the
it's
energy in the room.
yeah. But obviously, not everything carries across from America over to England. So their way of selling and their way of pitching and presenting doesn't quite carry across. In the UK, I tend to think that we're about 3 or 4 years behind them when it comes to technology advancements. So sometimes they just say it as it is in plain English, doesn't quite compute for the UK audience, in my opinion. Same if you went to certain parts of Scandinavia, certain parts of Germany, Poland. You know, everyone's got a very, very unique of the way they buy and the way they sell. So me going across won't always carry that same viewpoint. What do you think about that? Like, what's your viewpoint? Because you're the MSP, so realistically, you're the target market.
Mine's quite limited because I've not been to any events outside of EMEA. I've only been mostly to UK-based events.
Yeah.
And my only ones not in the UK or Ireland was going to Paxate in Amsterdam last year for their EMEA conference, which did have quite a few familiar faces that I've seen around the UK circuit.
Why don't you have a look at the rejection con? I am sure that's the one where it is donation based because it goes off to some form of charity and it's all delivered online and you get to see the recordings of the sessions. It's not like an in-person conference, it's an online one, but it might be worth having a look at the rejection con stuff.
Do you know when that is?
I don't know. Google it. It's there's a lot of empath folks on it. Rejection con. Hang on, stand by, callers.
Well, talking about Googling, I did ask Copilot this question earlier. What are some of the must-go-to events for MSPs, IT service providers over the next year? And it came up with some that...
Hang on, did somebody just fart?
Must be you.
Oh, I know what it is. It's when you go to rejection con, it like this little robot gives a farting noise.
I've heard this excuse before, John. She's trying to cover up.
Right, here you go. Here's the link. I'll tell you what. I'll pop the link in. Can I put the link in here? Chat. It's already been and gone. But it was May the 26th to the 28th. But as it's virtual and it's all recorded, you can go and check it out.
Brilliant. Okay. So, John, what did Copilot say?
So, Copilot returned a few that I haven't come across or haven't taken note of before.
Okay.
So, we've got Exchange MSP UK, which is from channel company CRN in October. We've got the MSP Growth Forum in February in Hertfordshire from IT Europa. Managed Services Summit in September, which I have been to the one in London before.
That's near me, isn't it? Manchester.
Yeah, they run a couple. So you've got it in Manchester. You've also got it in
London,
Netherlands.
And
there is one of a similar name over in the US as well, not to be
Yeah.
confused with this one.
Fair enough.
Um, I found that quite a mix of a day. It's one that I thought, okay, I've experienced it. I don't think I'll go again, just because I didn't find some of the speakers the right level that I engaged with them. I found going to some other events, I was engaged a lot more with their speakers. So I felt those were more higher quality events. When you've got somebody that's doing more of a blatant pitch, it does kind of turn you off.
Yeah, and this is why it's really, really difficult nowadays, because everybody's kind of trying to cater for everything, but they do run the risk quite quickly of missing the mark. And I've been to plenty of events over the years where it's just a complete waste of time. Not going to name any names on that one, but even using Copilot, I'd be interested to understand if they're giving you that feedback based on like real working ratings and reviews and experiences, or if they're giving you that feedback based on which of these said companies have the biggest footprint on social media, on LinkedIn, on advertising, and making a noise for themselves.
Well, it's going to be what the answer engine rates the best.
Yeah.
So it's what aligns to that
By
question.
the way,
But I thought it was quite a good thing of seeing
interesting.
events I've not seen or consciously been that aware of.
I can
There
give
are
you
a couple others which I have seen.
Have
like
you seen
MSP Global, which is in Barcelona, came up, which does get a nice bit of traction.
I've been there. It's good.
Talk about, but I've not been.
Yeah, good
You've missed it. You know, there is a number of places that syndicate MSP only events. You don't just have to throw it into Google. You've got Cloud Tango for events. You've got 18IT has events. You've got Darren Strong's Scalable website has MSP related events. So I'd probably just pick out of those three and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is nice to have that sort of more refined list that an agent that knows you a bit more and what you're.
So Google knows you more than MSP specific vendors.
Yeah, and coming from this, from a vendor perspective, obviously I've worked for a few different brands over the years, and Michelle, you're no different. You know, events is a business. Their whole point is to earn money and to earn.
Oh
money
no, they're
by
not events. So 18IT.
No, not specifically them.
Yeah.
But that also determines if someone has a great day or a bad day, because they can put 100 different vendors on these stalls, and if you've got an MSP who's looking for something so specific that it doesn't fit the 100, then they're going to walk out of that event and go, that was useless. It doesn't mean it's a bad event. It just means that
it didn't meet that
didn't
person.
quite fulfill the need of the person, and I think that's why they're trying to branch out and cover all angles, because they're trying to cater for everybody. But I think they're still going to miss the mark at times.
Yeah. For example, MSP show, I didn't go this year. I went last year. Fantastic event if you want to meet different vendors and learn what's available product-wise.
Yeah.
However, for me, it wasn't the right environment for me to really pay attention to any of the talks, because it was all those open theatres just on the edge of sort of the vendor hall. I just find those really distracting. I find it hard to listen to the speaker. I find it hard to actually focus on what they're presenting, because you've got all the distractions. I suffer from not being able to filter out background noise that well. So it becomes really difficult. I know some events put on, you can plug in your own headphones and hook up to the sound, or they provide it a bit like a silent disco. Here's a headset for you. But there is a very different feel when you're in a spec. And my favourite has to be the cabaret style round tables. I've got somewhere I can sit, feel comfortable, have my drink, have my notebook out. I feel far more connected to that event than if I'm just sat in a row in an audience.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I mean, going back to good old school days when you're having a reception, even that was painful enough when you had to sit there and listen to the head teacher for half an hour. And some events are like that now, bums on seats in a room, you're in there for an hour. Okay, that speaker's gone. Everyone grab 5 minutes, and then you've got another hour. And there's people who thrive on that and they love it. But I'm like you, John. I find it really, really hard to stay focused for that amount of time. And there's only so much people can say before they sound like a broken record and they're just going over and over and over the points that they wanted to do. Because that's a lot of it is. I've done public speaking training. I'm not great at it. That's the reason why I signed up to Toastmasters, to give it a go, to learn. And people are training themselves to be polished. And when that's there and that's their agenda, they're obviously going to buff it out and fluff it to be presentable. So yeah, it's a really interesting concept you raised there, John, because I don't think it's going to get any easier over the next few years. I think it's going to get more convoluted.
And with that, where on earth do we spend our time to be the most valuable? Because we're not going to get that time back. We want to make sure if we're going somewhere, especially if we're going to be traveling a distance, you're going to be out the office for several days with all that travel, especially if you're going to be going over to the US. The length of time it will take to get there, it's not instant. It's not like you could just drive there the morning of the event.
And here's one for you. So let's take PAX8, for example. Incredible company, great events, we all know it. They've now made it a thing where people are expected to travel for a couple of days and get a flight either side. So from your business perspective, and John, you're the MSP in this one, do you see this more as a holiday and as a trip to get out and change the narrative and change?
Can't pay holiday, tax man.
Oh yeah.
Be careful.
Do you see this as a learning experience? Or do you see this as a way to change the pace, to give yourself a breather, to reset, to rekindle with people that you know and who are like-minded? Or do you actually go to these events going, I need to know A, B, and C, D, and E. I can't wait to find out what they are. Because I feel like it's weird at the moment.
For me, they're all business development first and foremost, and I am going there to learn what I don't already know.
Right.
And some of that will be because I've got no idea what I don't know already.
Fair enough.
So how do you know that you don't know unless you go?
Well, this is where having compelling agendas that actually make you go, I want to be there, I want to learn about this.
Yeah.
Are so important, and getting those agendas out early so people can have that ooh moments.
Yeah. But
how did the go, fish? Do it again.
Oh, it's just those ooh.
I love that. I love that. That's now my ringtone. Just click that, please. But are we at the stage though where is there anything fresh to talk about? Because these events have been happening for 40, 50, 70 years.
Interpretations, and you'll connect with different speakers. So if we had you and Michelle presenting the exact same thing, you would present it in slightly different angles, different styles. You'd emphasize different points because you are two different people.
Also, remember, Danny, that right. So, how many times do we harp on at Gareth, who's not here because he's busy kissing Resource Alley somewhere? But how many
You'll have to
times do we
explain that.
bang on about something, and it's only when you're ready to hear it do you actually take it on board? So,
True.
but you know this as well as sales go. Somebody needs to hear a message X number of times before they fully digest it and realise they're ready. Now, it's not a sales thing, but it's also the same thing with. That's not important. How do I improve service delivery? That's not really important to me right now. Yeah, you've given me the process, but it's not important to me right now because right now I've got to manage my people better. And now I've got to make sure my budget's up to date. And it's only when they're at that point that it's important to them enough, are they ready to take it on board?
And because you may have said it so many times, you've just become background noise, and it takes somebody else to say it to actually break through.
That's it. Yeah, it's a very, very good point. I mean, I've been knocking down like doors for many, many years regarding like the benefits of sales. I mean, that's just carbon copy of what's good. But usually it takes an MSP to have something drastic happen in order for them to really home in on, oh my God, we need to grow. And it could be that they've lost customers. It could be that the margins are particularly very, very small. There's always you're bob on. There's always like a snapping factor, which kind of makes them go, oh my God, oh crap, I need to treat this differently. I need to focus on it. Like one customer said to me last month, 3 years ago, we focused on sales and we grew. I was like, surprising that, being sarcastic. But it's true.
Imagine that.
I know, but it's true. We've only got a set limited amount of capacity in our heads because of everything that's trying to fight for our time. And so whenever you can dedicate something, so I think you're right. Yeah. Maybe it's always going to be outside noise for 75% of the people. Maybe it's people that need it the most.
And going back to what John says, you present it in different ways. So there's you that does sales, Danny. There's Paul Lloyd. There's a number of you that work on sales, right? But you'll resonate with people that Paul doesn't, and vice versa, and things like that. So different people resonate with different people and take different meanings from it. So it's all good. It's all good.
And on that, we should draw to a close. We've been in people's ears for over half an hour now. So, is it Danny hosting next time?
I think it's back to me next time. Because I got episode 00, so it's me, then it's Danny, then the Westwood, then it's you, Fish.
So, what have you got lined up next time?
Oh, I have no idea. I let go of the need of perfection, so we'll talk about whatever I feel like talking about on the day, or I'll be led by what you guys have been up to that will drive the conversation, and I'll just facilitate it.
Well, join us next week as we find out what the mystery conversation shall be. Have a good week in your business.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh,